All right, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Let's go here. Got everything. Let's update. Monday. Why is everything updating today? Figures it runs all weekend, and then now Monday morning, it's like, oh, that's it, update. So, yeah. Um, it looks like it's going through. So, hopefully it is. If it's not, you'll let me know, I'm sure, pretty soon. Weird. All right. So, we got manufacturing and PMIM prices coming in just in a little bit, in about 25 minutes. Overall, decent movement in the overnight. Seeing some dollar strength still maintained in the market. Um, eh, it's a decent amount, right? Euro dollar, pound dollar, both down 40. Dollar yen up $20, Swiss up 20, dollar CAD up 64. Again, that's the big mover on the day. Some of that may be oil just kind of standing still, going down a little bit. Aussie dollar down 34. Euro pound, not much movement whatsoever, 4 pips. And then pound yen down about 51. And again, there is some yen context out here. You can see that, Bank of Japan hikes bond buying as benchmark yield hit decade peak. It's always, when you hear those, the peak, it's, um, yeah, not necessarily what you're looking for, right? This is the worst it's been in a year, or this is the best it's been in a year. Tends to be a little bit weird. But overall, not too much to watch out for. Obviously, buoyant US dollar pushes fragile yen to within striking distance of 150. We said 150 would be a pretty big deal. I guess the big thing was the crisis averted with the extension. The government did not shut down. I think the again, that's where a lot of the strength is coming in right now. Excuse me. Ugh. There was a big expectation. Actually, some people had forecasted a 100% chance that it was going to be shut down. Like I said, friends in the government were basically saying that, yeah, we have to report Monday, set our out of office for the shutdown, and then, yeah, basically they weren't going to skip a check. I guess they get paid bi-weekly or whatever. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to skip a check until next time. So they basically have 2 weeks to figure it out, right? We'll work. It doesn't really affect us that because they had just gotten paid. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, really, what just happened was we just kind of pushed the buck down the road. I think people are getting tired of it. Even Congress made some comments about it, about how pushing it, kicking the can farther down the road has to stop. We just can't keep doing it. So we'll see. All right. All right. There we go. Sorry, I'm clicking over here. So we'll see what we get here. Powell speaking. It's a roundtable. So again, I don't know that we're gonna get too much out of there. Working with discussion with workers, small business owners, and community leaders in New York. So maybe says something. And again, Harker also had the same thing. We'll see how it goes. I guess big one for today. All right. So the coffee. Excuse me. Coffee is not working. Cash rate 410, not expected to change whatsoever. I don't feel like there's going to be a surprise with that one. Maybe, but I really don't think there'll be a surprise. I think there'll be some kind of language about that one. We may be, maybe at the peak. Um, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more of a setup for, kind of short trades coming out of it. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Um, right now, I think everybody's kind of the same point, right? We kind of have a little bit of a global slowdown. We're kind of seeing it. Inflation still kind of rising. There's a fuel piece in there. Um, you know, Kind of a weird scenario. Everybody's like, "Are they done? Are they done?" I mean, it's kind of like little kids in the back seat on a vacation. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I feel like it's what the markets are saying right now. Are we done? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? When are we doing? When are we doing cuts? How restrictive are we? Are we going to a recession? So many questions out there, and I feel like really nobody has any clue. Okay. So we got Aussie tonight. That's going to be the big one. Tomorrow morning, we have CPI data on a monthly basis expected to be completely flat for the Swiss. And again, I think that's kind of where everybody's at. We're kind of like, are we there? Obviously, the US is a little bit more resilient, bigger GDP, bigger spending. People love the credit cards here. So, um, the rest of the world will probably slow down before the US does. Whether that we continue to raise, though, is a completely separate story. Again, things tend to start and also, they tend to start here most times. And again, the raises, I feel like we will have the last raise of anybody. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there'll be a surprise one, but I really think that the rest of the world. I don't know. At this point, I feel like the yen has the best chance of doing a raise, just because it's it's just getting so out of whack right now. right? But not, it's just 150 is a real big deal. 130 you thought was bad, but 150 is really bad. So, we'll see. And then obviously New Zealand tomorrow, late night, but we'll talk. And then again, I think Jolts tomorrow morning will be a big one. That'll come in right after we meet. But again, remember the job market is one of the things that they have constantly just started to hit on, right? Job market has been a big one. That the strong job market. It needs to slow down. The strong job market. It's showing that there's going to be no change in the job market whatsoever. So doesn't show that we're restrictive. And God forbid, it's even. I mean, it's actually creeping up a little bit. The job openings. If it goes even higher, it's kind of like yeah. So inflationary pressures are going up, and then the job market is still running pretty hot. Are we done? So I think that'll be a big one. Going across to the VIX. VIX, pretty much. I mean, again, it's creeped up a little bit, and again, some of this may be a little bit artificial. Again, coming into Monday, we always tend to see a little bit of a jump. Um, but again, the whole is the government closing down? Is it not closing down? Are we paying people $1? What are we doing? Right? Um, I think it's funny. They're like, oh, we're going to pay that person $1. It's like, well, why? How many senators are getting paid $1? Maybe we should pay them $1 because if they can't agree and they're shutting other people's business down, maybe they should get paid $1. Um, yeah, I think their salary should be voted. I think their adjustments for salary should be in the general election. You know, do they have a positive rating or a negative rating? Right? Should we pay them more? Or should we pay them less? And if the overall consensus is that they're doing a bad job, we should be able to vote for them to not get a raise every year. They shouldn't be able to vote on it themselves. Right? I think a lot of people. I think that would be very popular if a presidential candidate ever came out with that. I feel like that would be a really really popular thing. Right? Unhappy with a senator? Don't let them vote on their own raises. That would be a real big thing. So, um, it's working. I can only make it so strong, girl. I drank so much caffeine this weekend; it was crazy. I had like two monsters in one day, and a cup of coffee. I think that was Saturday, Friday. I did that. And then like it was like midnight. I was like, wow, I am wide awake still. Normally I could drink, I could like after dinner have a cup of coffee, go right to sleep. It don't matter whatsoever. But I feel like two cans of 200 milligrams of caffeine plus one or two coffees. Yeah, I feel like that was probably a little bit much, right? Maybe I'm just used to it. And I'm like, my God, if I can tolerate that, does that make me an addict? I don't know, right? I don't know what the maximum limit a person of my age should be consuming. I know, right? That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm ready for the next upgrade. Could be. Dollar creeping a little bit higher, but we're still within range. You can see we kind of were sitting up here. We kind of gapped up a little bit and then just came, kind of maintained and held, and it went down and found buyers. And again, there's absolutely a set of buyers in there, right? Absolutely a set of buyers in there, right? And that's what it grabbed. And then once the European market opened up, and again, it's how important it is, that European market opening right around that 3 o'clock time frame. The 3 o'clock was the low, right? It shot right down for the Europeans to say, all right, here we go. Strong dollar it is. Boom. Right to the upside. Now we are getting up the sellers. We are kind of at the top of that range again. Can we maintain and hold? Kind of a completely different story there, right? But we are extremely high on the curve. We're back over 106.50, which again, it's just unreal. It's amazing how high it is. Um, and here's the thing. I mean, you hear people talk about like the CNBC guys, like, oh, King Dollar's great. Yeah, it's great for us to go overseas on vacation, right? When it's awesome there, but understand when there are competitive bids going in on international corporations and international companies, and even things like oil, right? If your nation is on the weaker side and you have to pay in U.S. dollars, which is a very expensive transfer for you, it's even more expensive. So it's cool for us to go visit, Ireland, cruises, Mexico, South America. It's great when the dollar is that expensive there, but remember, overall, it's a global market right now. So when other people have to buy things in US dollar and need to acquire US dollars, it's expensive, right? I know for IBM a couple years, I mean, I say a couple, but it's probably been like 10 now because I'm old, but they were talking about their profits have been hurt because of currency exchange and people didn't quite understand that. Um, and what it was they were losing business. It wasn't that it was the actual exchange. It was just when they were competing with other businesses out there, they were losing service contracts because it was too expensive compared to the support they could get from other companies that were not using US dollars. And that's how it kind of works. That's how it works, right? If I have to pay double for a US company because of the exchange rates versus a local company, I'm probably going to go with the local company. So again, if you do international business, strong dollar is not necessarily the best. Indices, NQ up. Everybody else is a little bit down right now. And I wouldn't say today, besides the government, maintaining open, I don't think there's anything really that, earth shatteringly like, that's it, the market should go down, right? It's not one of those days today. Obviously, Apple up, Tesla down. Right now, looking at commodities. Now, dollar is up. Typically, when you see dollar, you see commodities down, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Oil, it's down 0.5%, which is awesome, but it's still 90.35. Right, still 90.35. Natural gas down 0.8%. Again, gotta love that, but we're still at the 290 mark. We're still really, really high. Now, gold. I don't know what the heck's going on with gold. Gold and silver both. Silver down big as well. And again, I think a lot of the signs are out there. A strong dollar tends to mean that it's going to be weak for the other two. But again, look at this. I mean, gold down at 1834, down $14 already. Wow, that's a big move already for Monday. I would say that this takes the I'm sorry, it down 0.76, and then silver down 3.4%, down 75 cents, down to 21. Like I was like, yeah, we're gonna stay in this like kind of 22 range, 2250-ish range, 2250-ish. That we're below now. We're below 2150 now. We're down to 2141. I mean, it's just like woo. So yeah, some people getting smoked over there. That entire camp. Silver 100. Yeah, not working out well for you. Never hit it, and man, it's not even up in the 60s. So yeah, I would say that gold and silver, the two big kind of most notable kind of Monday morning moves there. Um, yeah, and I mean the dollar's up a little bit, sure, but silver 3.45% down. Kind of a lot. Not your typical Monday morning, right? Not your typical Monday morning. So silver sellers obviously got some stuff in there. All right, so Aussie dollar. So we had a level. We're like, oh, please bounce off that level. Please bounce off that level. And Sunday came in right here. We're sitting there. We're like, oh yeah, good. Pull back. It didn't pull back. It tried. It ran out of steam at like I don't know, 11 o'clock. It's like, oh, go back. And then we had another level of basing right here, and you can see we kind of tagged it, and we tagged it again. And unfortunately, this was a miss too. So you can see we didn't pull back. That's what we were looking for. But remember, we're always looking for more near-term basing in kind of Harry Potter's. And as we punched through, the near-term base was actually sitting right there. But unfortunately, looking for that short, a second short, right? There's your basing level. You can see all the basing in there, right? There's the near term. It's like, oh, we were looking for a base, but it was right above. It tried, and at 3 o'clock, it ran out of steam. Look how close this was. There's your top, 1 pip. It missed the entry by 1 pip. So, yeah. It was close. Europeans is like, oh, God, couldn't you guys just wait just a little bit longer? A little bit longer? And it got front run. So, unfortunately, that's kind of what we're looking for. And again, you're seeing this rally all over back again. Again, I'm not going to use the 78 and say, oh, there's a great trade here, but it's probably going to run into some hiccups here. It is the 78. Some people care. I don't. The 78 is not necessarily a big deal for me. But there was chop and it hit. It went pretty deep, so I'm assuming it probably slows a little bit. I think right now, overall, we're looking for a target down here, right? Whoops. I think the downside target right now, and kind of where I would assume this goes down to today, is 63.42. Unfortunately, there was what? What do you want? What happened? Oh, you're stuck on something. Here. You want something different? You want something different here? Hold on 1 second. Let me get him adjusted. What do you want here? You want Blippy or you want Lifty? Oh, you want Masha? You want the bear? The bear? Go ahead, pick the bear. Blippy? I don't know what you want. This one? There you go. All right. So anyway, yeah, some great shorting opportunities in here. It just ended up continuing. It's just going to continue to deteriorate down. So look for potential reversal of 63.42. Also, again, we know this is going. Profit target got hit. You can see same thing. Friday, Sunday was right in here. It pulled back. Now this one actually did pull back to a decent level. You could have used this level right here. And again, we didn't have this data on Friday. It was forming that right. we mentioned that we were kind of in a Harry Potter looking for that to push down. And again, we are kind of hoping that it didn't get blown up. It didn't. It actually waited, and then now it has passed. So profit target hit on this one. Also continuing to deteriorate. Again, the 78.6 on this one as well also has kind of the major hiccups in this big push to the downside. Um, I think that's where we're looking. Again, maybe there's a pullback in here, but you were short from up here anyway. So again, it's kind of the second short in there. So yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I would say if you are short this one, again, look to take profit around 95.23 right before this area comes in. It was lower low, so it's not the best of levels. Again, being the 786 and the fact that this went lower, lower, lower before it finally started to come back up again, not my favorite. I think it probably comes back down again. I would say, again, TP1, 95.23. I would say the second one, get your stuff out probably there, right? It's about another 40 pips lower, but 94.88. It's a decent bottom. Like the shape is okay. I'm all right with the shape of it down here, but I think that's really kind of where the target needs to be. Remember, we do have obviously the interest rate decision tonight. Got some room to run, right? We got some room to run. It's going to be late night tonight, but I mean, just getting a visual of this one, you can see where it's coming down to. There's two different levels. I like the bottom one better. Um, you know, if we can get all the way down here for news, I actually like that for a long, right? I'm actually okay with that for a long. So I don't know. Maybe Australia does surprise, and maybe Australia does like a point 0.1, right? A point 0.1 increase, and then they say we're done, but that they didn't expect that increase, and that's why you know it shoots to the top side to reaffirm where they are. Kind of setting up that way. Kind of setting up. How much does that have to move? 66 pips, right? 66 pips isn't bad. So yeah, there. Yeah, I mean, 66 pips, if you think about it, 4 hour ATR is about 35 pips. So it has the room to run from now till then. We're talking about being 12 hours away. So it's there. Daily 80, daily is 81. So I think it could go. It's got potential, right? Um, Probably need a little bit of help later on, but you know, overall, it should be okay if we can get down that far. Like I said, it's kind of an if, right? It can, right? And it's not. It wouldn't be out of the ordinary. But we'll see. Again, we'll see what happens at the 78.6 level. Euro dollar. Boom. All right, so euro dollar. Kind of the same thing. We're like, oh God, don't blow it up, don't blow it up, don't blow it up. And it didn't. It actually opened up here on Sunday. So it was actually going off that level. This was our target. Um, Unfortunately, here's where Friday closed. It kind of came down. It didn't get all the way down there. So we're like, okay, good. We don't want to blow it up. And then it actually did use it, right? It did use it on Sunday night and took off. Now, the top side run on it was decent, right? Yeah, about 30 pips. And all it did was it pulled right back up. It's probably a 50% retracement down. Yeah, sitting right at the 50. It came up and grabbed. I mean, looking at where we are here, you can say, yeah, some sellers in here, and then this is the next kind of big area, and that's where it ended up moving. So, yeah, and by the way, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Right. Right now, I think this needs to come all the way back to the downside. We got some more room to run. Got about another 25 pips. Um, I think that's right now with the big surge. Let's see. What is the European run so far? So the European run so far is 77 pips. Okay. It's got a daily ATR of 65. So we are past a day's worth of movement just in the European session. That tends to lead us to a bottoming and then a bit of a reversal. So we're kind of there in this 104.95 ish. Again, the 105 area will be a big psychological level. Are we above and below it? Um, Probably gives us the best option for a reversal trade in here. Um, and again, maybe Powell says something that people are like, "Oh, what?" Right? But overall, it's okay. Right? It's an okay level. It's been here before, but again, 105 just on a psychological basis is obviously a big thing, right? Um, you know, 0 0 is great. You know, if this was parity, huge deal, right? Huge deal. Um, But once we get to 105, the word I just mentioned, parity, you'll start hearing that all over the place. My God, does it have enough to go to parity? Can it go to parity? And parity is just when it's 1 for 1, right? That's when, like, book all your European vacations, right? When we get to parity. Do the prepaid option because it's not going to go much lower than that. So, yeah. Um, Now, as far as reversals go in here, it is a higher time frame level. We have been here in the past, so again, just use some caution with that. Maybe all the ISM numbers in a couple minutes will turn this and shoot this higher. Um, but if anything, what are they forecasted in at? Mm, Yeah. So, I mean, 48.9, is there any difference from 48.9 to 48.4? No, not really. Right. But again, it is showing a rise in prices. And then again, PMI, same thing. It's expected to go a little higher. Now, if either of them goes over 50, and again, I'll just click on this one, 50 indicates industry expansion versus contraction. Right. So 49 is technically still contraction, but just very, very minor. If for some reason either of these two, and it's probably going to be prices, if it busts over, showing we have an expansion, again, that's a strong dollar based move. So it should drive us down. Now, ideally, I don't think we're getting it in 3 minutes, but ideally, if we are down here, that'd be a great trade. But if the data comes out and we do come down here and then we start kind of reversing, this could be a reversal for the news to kind of pop us back up again in time for the JOLTS data for tomorrow morning. So this could be, again, depending on what the data is, right? We'd have to see the proper pattern down here. It would have to like kind of like shoot down, and then we kind of see this, right? To there, and then the potential for this, right? So kind of almost something along those lines. It would be actually be like this. Sorry. But we'd have to see again. We got to see what the data is. Again, could we have a reversal here? Yeah, Europeans have just shot this sucker straight down all day. It's been one. It's been one directional, right? So should see a little bit of reprieve come in. Euro pound. Is it strong euro? Nope. Look at this sleeper. Look at this sleeper. I mean, this is where we were Friday. Friday we were right here. Hold on, no, I lied. 10 o'clock. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock right now. So 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is this green candle. All right, so let's see. 10 o'clock is the green, so we opened right there, and we're sitting right there. So we are 6 pips from where we were Friday morning. So yeah, no major movement, no, you know, nothing really in this one. Can't even use it as a proxy right now. Which one's stronger? No way to tell. No way to tell. And again, they have similar problems, but lack of any real data or any direction. I'm kind of, I kind of want this whole, we're still. This is like everything we're doing right now with the interest rates is still just the COVID hangover, right? People don't care about getting COVID anymore, but the markets haven't fully recovered from it. Be nice if we can get past it now. Right? I don't know what it's like near you guys. I was talking to a parent the other day, like, do you even care if you get COVID anymore? I'm like, well, I mean, I still care, right? I still would rather not get it, right? If I don't have to, because I told you guys one of my parents, his son's a lineman in football and he got diagnosed the other day and he was a little tired and run down. But like, yeah, basically the doctor told him whenever he feels like getting back out there, he can. There's no restrictions. She's like, the thinking is if he has it and he's a lineman, everybody else has already got it. It don't matter. It don't matter. It's all good. And it's amazing how in 2 years, 3 years, how it goes from lock yourself in your home to it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's just COVID. Who cares? Right? Um, yeah. Yeah. Euro pound. Oops. I'm sorry. Euro yen. So Euro yen, we had talked about, an area up here. It had been there multiple times, pretty deep in there. Again, a little front run. We weren't, super, didn't love it. 5:30 in the morning, we hit it again and came back again, and you can see we started the base here, and it was kind of like, it's probably gonna break, and it did just a little bit. I mean, it barely peaked its head up, and that even maybe me drawing it wrong. There's a little bit above it, so yeah. And all it did was it used that level, and there you go. There's the 3 o'clock candle. So there's the 3 o'clock candle. That zone was only 11 pips, so rather small. Right, rather small. And off to the races. Right? Boom, straight down. From the European Open again, 102 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 100. So it looks like in the European session, they were making up for last week of a lot of choppiness and sideways movement. This is the third pair since the European Open. It's put an entire day's worth of movement in already in the European session, right? But we marked it off last week. The 157.50. Look at this. The 3 ascending. I love those areas. I mean, it's not necessarily an area I'll trade off of, but it's one that I'm looking for. And again, if you were short looking for profit, look what happened. It hit that same area of buyers and is now starting to kind of paint a green candle. Question is, will it stay or will it not? Yeah, Got to be a little cautious. Let's see what we got. Oh, there we go. Oof. So prices got blasted. So everybody purchasing miners. Oh, that's the one that's just weird. So prices got slammed, but manufacturing almost went over. Is there comments on it? No. Might be case for increasing releasable buffers. Um, Further deterioration overall operating conditions in September. Yeah. Okay. Um. Hmm. Um. Hmm. I can see some more breakdown on this because again, this is a big miss, right? Big miss. But that one was getting really, really close, the PMI. And again, the PMI is the more important. You can see the prices one is orange. The PMI is a little bit more of a red figure. Let me see. What is the dollar doing on that one? Look at that bouncing right there. Dollar is taking that more negative. Hmm. Hmm. This is just a big miss. This would have been better if this was 50.0 or like 50.1. This would have been a huge deal. But I'm wondering if people are seeing this and be like, oh, the prices, it's getting cheaper to manufacture everything. Yeah. And again, how much of this I wonder is the strike data shouldn't be in there though. Let's see. Not bad. Not bad. So you should be out of this trade now if you're short. I'd like to see what we do in the next hour. We may get a reversal on this one back up to 158. It's only about 40 pips, but there's some room in this one. Um, hmm. Spot, totally against that one. But again, it was profit target first. So it needs to show me that it's done officially. And we need to start kind of pushing back because there are some sellers sitting right in this area, right? Chop, 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 bam. Um, again, it's support it's seller support. So if it comes back up again, it will look for more sellers here to help drive through this data. Um, but again, confirmed level. So you should be out. I mean, that was a nice run. If you got short at the open, again, 80 pips to the downside is a nice little run. Pound dollar. So pound dollar, we were talking about a short from Sunday night. We were like, if we can get up here for Sunday night, that would be awesome. And it just flatlined on us. These sellers were just too much. It just like bam, 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 bam. It kind of based, and again, it got shot up really, really quick, and then 3 o'clock was like the nail in the coffin. 3 o'clock was like the okay, that's it, bring dollars in. We were calling for this to come down, right? And it did. Um, Unfortunately, we were looking for like a Sunday night open, and it shot right from 3 o'clock. I mean, Europeans. Funny enough, from 2 o'clock to 3, it's like, hey, let's jack it up. Okay, price is high, sell, 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 and that's exactly what they did. Now, it did push back down, and it found buyers. It kind of came a little bit lower to where we expected. This is a level we talked about before. This is actually a Harry Potter because we have it in the red. We were looking for a drop below. Excuse me. Hopefully, they might cut that down. That came out of nowhere. There's obviously buyers here, right? I mean, we could draw kind of we could be like, hey, listen, there's the base, right? There's the base. There's a confirmation of those buyers, and that's exactly what it's running into. So it's there. Again, if we reverse right now, wouldn't be actually surprised. And again, it looks to be more of a dollar weakness trade. I think people look at that price and be like, oh my God, it's getting cheap. The manufacturer price. Oh, that's great. Problem is, and again, it's kind of a looking at that, you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. They're done, right? Weak. I mean, well, this is strengthening. We're almost expansion in manufacturing. The prices bit of it, not as important, but people see the prices like, okay, that's great. Well, the other component to this one is, what's happening with, and what happened with fuel, right? Fuel costs are high, right? And it hasn't fully been factored in yet. They haven't kind of done it. Now, I will say, uh, even though oil is over 90, paying 335 is not bad, I don't think. I'm okay with the 335. It's the difference between summer and winter gas, right? Winter gas is the cheapy, right? So yeah, we'll see what the chop does. If we can get a bounce off this one, great. Let's see. Is there going to be past the 78? So let's remove this. Let's see if we're going to get any help with this one. We can leave that there. It's fine. Let's shrink this so I can draw the whole thing. Nope. There we go. Um, that wasn't the hiccup wasn't as much. By a little bit. There are people that missed that trade. I wish this wasn't up. Wasn't so. Better on 15. Yeah, a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's all right. I think look for 120. Look for 121. All right. There we go. So yeah, I think target right now. Look for 121.12. Could it bounce off of this one? Sure. Sure, it could. Again, that would be the reversal from the U.S. From the European Open today, which would make complete sense. I actually don't think that's a horrible trade either, but I do like the break of 121 lower as this one continues to push down. It's a Harry Potter trade we've drawn forever. It's been here for a while. Right? Nice push down on our way down to 120.27. Okay. Now, I do think again the pound I think is in a worse place. I think the pound has a minor recession that they're dealing with. Not as clean as what we're dealing with here. Again, I think our market's a bit more resilient. I think it's we've been okay. I don't think they're talking soft landing. That I think because we got through the government shutdown thing, I think that just helps us because the market had factored in, as I said, it was expected to be 100% that it was going to shut down, and it didn't. So overall, that is a strong dollar position. All right. Yeah, it's fine. Pound yen. All right, so pound yen. We had a Harry Potter, right? We got a Harry Potter in here, and again, it did base in there and pull back again. We're waiting for some type of a base, so it's there. Ideally, it's kind of like pull back up. I mean, I wouldn't say that I love that kind of little spike up at 8 o'clock. We were looking for this to kind of push all the way back down again and run to about there. Um, I hate that 8 o'clock candle. That 8 o'clock candle sucked in the pound dollar too. That little like boop boop, right? The same little boop boop right there kind of screws this all up. I hate going down to 15 on this one. There's one there. 15. It's a 15-minute pause. I like this one short, but God, that's just an ugly base in there. And again, part of it's because it's Monday morning. The U.S. market wasn't really open, so there's not really traders in there. Ugh. Wish there was a better one in there. Again, I still like the short. I kind of wanted to come back and base here. Um, I don't like going to a 15 on this one, but we do know that there's a level of basing sitting right in there. So if we start to rally back up, that could be it, but it's a little bit far. Let's see basing in there. Kind of hope this just fails and goes all the way down. And then not taking the trade. Anyway, yeah, the alert went off. We were looking for a base. Love how many times it hit, and we had a base in there. This stupid little. If we erase this, right? If you just erase that, and it was just a sideways movement in here, I would love this. For one more candle and comes up, I think that's great. I would love that one. 18 pips on the pound. That'd be great. But that stupid little 8 o'clock pip is just like, ugh, messing my analysis up here. So, use caution. All right, so dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. We ended up pushing down, and then basically Friday at 9 o'clock, we started to take off. And then Friday, we just continued to push, and then we flatlined. And then Sunday night, we kind of held and we pulled back a little bit. We went high and pulled back, and this thing is taken off. So this is awesome. Finally broke through this stuff, right? We talked about all this chop, and again, we didn't call for the down and up real quick, but we got it. Little Harry Potter when we broke through the top side. So right now, this is the current monster move here. And I say monster because we've been stuck over here for so long. Right now, we're running into a level. We know we got a level here. We've talked about this level before. It's based up here, right? It's based up there and it's turned. So it's definitely an area where sellers are in the market. We've seen them in the past. They've been here. If we get a reversal off of this one, okay. Now, again, I would like to see a confirmation because it's not the freshest levels. We have hit it before. But if you look down and say, okay, if we reverse here, are there trades here? I think you got to look at this and say yes. Whoops, let's change that back to yellow. When you look at this one, let's make this a little bigger. You have an area of basing, right? This nice strong rally, and then we kind of chop sideways, right? During the 7 to like 8 o'clock time. And then all of a sudden, boom, dollar news came out, boom, straight up again. It's all to 23. So in this last big push, which is very, very easy for all fib traders to draw, they're going to see this and be like, "Ooh, there's 23.6 in there." Well, there's also basing there. So if we turn and pop, I think there's one potential buy right there. Now, with that said, also, if you go down to the next large number that a lot of fib traders will look at is the 50. And guess what? There happens to be one just below where the 50 is. So the 50 kind of front runs it on there. Right. And it's before the 61. There's nothing there. But this is a very important level because could we bounce off of this one? Sure. Sure. Right. We could come in here and bounce. There are buyers here. It's a very strong rally, a little bit of base, and then another push through. So it did need some more help. So again, unfilled orders higher. But at the same time, we have a run up straight up, which also shows me that if we break through, we also potentially have a short trade coming in there. So a lot of options on this one. We got to find where this top is coming in at. And again, if I move this, you can see it's starting to kind of move away. And again, if it pushes high, you can see that 61 will start backstopping that level, which is totally fine. I'm actually okay. The more the surge is up, the better of a reversal we're probably going to get in this one. It's just when we, again, this may be one of those ones you drop it down to like a 15 and you start looking for a red, green, red. And when we get it, again, kind of what we talked about last week, Mitch, what you talked about, how do we draw it? Drop it down to a 15. If we're able to get that, look for the turn reversal, push back to the downside. Okay. So I'm good with this one. Now, we do know that we do have Swiss data tomorrow too, the CPI, right? It's expected to be totally flat. Question is, will it be surprised a little bit higher? Or will it be weaker, right? We got to see what the market tells us, but understand that's coming at 2:30 in the morning, so it counts as kind of that European open time frame window. With all this strong dollar right now for this one, right? For dollar Swiss. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It shouldn't even hold, and it really didn't. It went higher. So that one is out. There is a little level at the 78, right? I think we talked about this last week that there was a little bit of a level right there. I'm not. It's okay. It could actually serve as today's reversal. But again, I'm not trading it because it's a 78, but there will be people that do. But there is a level there. How much is it? Is it too tiny? That's 11 pips. Maybe I'll put it there. If you guys haven't found anything Monday morning, this is probably a decent reversal. There you go. And again, the bottom, 3 o'clock right here, right here. 72. Yeah, it moved 72 pips. The daily ATR is 57. So not quite 1.5 times, but pretty close. If we hit this zone, we're looking at 1.5 times. Right? That would be like 90. So 1.5 times. Yeah, it's about 1.5 times. Yeah, 60 plus. Yeah, that would be 1.5 times if we come up there. So 1.5 times is out of the ordinary, outside of the bell curve, and tends to be where you want to look to take those shorts. So it's not a bad one. Not a bad one. We'll see how that one works out. Sing to the wheels. I'm telling you guys right now. He loves this song, the Wheels on the Bus song. He does all the hand movements, the dances, and all that kind of stuff. But when it's playing behind you, it's hard not to sing it, right? Try not to sing the Wheels on the Bus to you guys. Nice black and blue. Like, why is my leg hurt there. Like, oh, it's all black and blue. All right. Oh, I did survive my lacrosse tournament this weekend. I played for a team attack cancer again. I don't know if I told you guys that or not. I don't think I told you guys. It was like Friday. It's like, oh my god, I have a tournament tomorrow. But yeah, I ended up having to face off again this weekend. I don't know why I'm like the only face off guy for this team, but yeah, I played for the team raised $2,000 to back to the foundation, the Headstrong Foundation, for families with cancer. So it was kind of awesome. I didn't know they did. So in 17 years, they've collected and given out $20 million to families with cancer. And it's been such a great like last couple years after COVID. They have the Nick's house in like around the Philadelphia area. They're expanding and purchasing another, I guess, a second Nick's house. Nick was the original the guy that died. That's where the foundation came from. Was like in the honor of Nick. They're getting another house for like to house families with cancer or families that are dealing with treatment, so they can stay in it or whatever. Instead of like a hotel, they stay at quote Nick's house. They're expanding up to Boston, which was kind of cool. But yeah, the team raised $2,000 for cancer this weekend. I survived. We blew out the first two games, and then we got beat pretty bad in the last game. They're a much better team. They're an A division team playing down with us, slumming with us, and they still needed to cheat. I'm like, really? I'm like, come on, guys, you're beating us by 8. Do you really need to be cheating? Come on. But yeah, I guess winning is the most important thing for some. But we raised $2,000, so it was awesome to help families with cancer. I thought it was awesome. And as you guys know, my dad died of cancer, and mom just got through breast cancer. So definitely has touched my family. So it's kind of cool working with the foundation. I told him, I was like, hey, I'll be in for the next one too. Like, awesome. Dollar yen. All right, so dollar yen. We did gap up, and we were talking about a level here. We've been here a few times, and you can see there was a little bit of a drop, and then we pushed up, and it filled the gap. So this is one of those typical like Sunday night gap, stories where we gap higher, and then we come back and we grab the position, right? Obviously, this is filling the gap. Whoops. I hate when it does that. They did an update on TradingView. I used to not miss this many clicks, and now maybe the mouse is gone. Anyway, there's your Sunday night gap trade right there, and you were out at 12 o'clock at night. Small 10 for 30. You guys know how I feel about 10 for 30s. I love those. 10 for 30s are awesome. So yeah, we're up at the pretty close to the 150 mark. I'm very curious to see what happens at that 150 mark. Again, you can see we're struggling though, right? All the other charts, right? Strong dollar, right? Strong dollar, right? Strong dollar, right? Strong dollar, strong dollar. What did we run into? Right? The 3 o'clock window is right here. Didn't move too much. And the reason why is because we are approaching a number like 150. You saw a news article that talks about it. 150 is a major deal. The question is, will the BOJ intervene somewhere around there? Are they already starting to? I actually wouldn't be surprised if this is not as high because they started selling. Remember, they don't just buy. There's not like an order of $1 billion worth of currency that they start shorting, right? It phases in, right, and it accelerates as we gets closer and afterwards. It's a whole bunch of small orders, right? That's why like the volume based trading is hysterical, right? When people are like, oh, it's volume based trading. Look at this. Have no idea what they're talking about. Right? Large corporations don't show it to you, right? That's how the big companies get stuck. When people know they're in a position, that's how they lose huge amounts of money, right? When people know they're on the hook. So everyone's like, oh, there's a lot of orders around here. Is there? Is there? How do you know, right? Can you see the? And again, if you don't believe me, how fast does it take a computer to trigger a trade, right? Right? Algorithms. Do algorithms need to have their orders in there? No, they know they have so much in there they can blow out the orders of whatever it is. If Goldman Sachs all of a sudden says that's it, I want to put a buy order, start selling, this at 149.90, right? Short. We want to short everything we can. Sell the house. Are they going to put that in the market so everybody can see it? No, because then you just front run in front of their position, right? But do they have computers that know that the second it gets close, they want to start selling and then they come in? Yeah, absolutely. So your volume based trading does nothing, right? It's a complete fallacy. Oh, we have level 2 data. We have level 3 data. We have level 4 data. We have top secret clearance data. No, you don't. Right? You have what the brokers show you, but you don't have what the big money has. And if you don't believe the market's manipulated, you're an idiot. So yeah, stop believing that drama. It's just, yeah, it is what it is. But 150, it's a big deal, right? Don't believe me? We just saw it down here, right? Talking about BOJ, talking benchmarks. We saw the BOJ talking about 150. Talking about buying back, yields declining. So again, the 150 mark, everybody's going to be talking about it. So we'll see. Would not be surprised tomorrow if we hear like, oh, we dabbled in some of this. So overall, I like the dollar yen short. Um, this is kind of funny. Look at this dollar, man. We are like absolutely 52-week highs in the dollar, and yet Bitcoin also starting to increase. Right, big jump there in the Bitcoin. Right, Babylon unveils Bitcoin staking protocol for Cosmos ecosystem. Great. Um, yeah, yeah. I still have no idea how Doji's at 77. I still think that this market is just insane. Wait till like everybody has digital versions. I wouldn't be surprised if all this get canceled. There's so much, like, it's so funny. You can track so much stuff with Bitcoin that people think you can't track this at all, right? And the way that people are getting around it is we take it off the ecosystem and then we put it back on after we change hands. It's like, wow, so you could take it off to illegally trade things and then put it back on again? Wow, I could like hide that transaction? Yeah, that's what we want, right? We want to hide transactions. All right, oil. Oil 89.36. Yes, it's dropping. So we talked about a level in here. Again, it hit that level and we're like, don't blow this up on Friday, and it didn't. Sunday, it also came in and it hit it again, which is awesome. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. We're like, oh God, it should break. And then it started the base before. You're like, oh my God, it's gonna go through. And it did. It just went right through. It didn't even pause. Heading back to the downside. So again, overall, we were calling for a short below this level. We talked about 90.28 being that level, and it did. And you can see it did actually chop through it. I guess I can't just say it blew right through it. Um, there you go. You can see it right there. It did it on a 5-minute, right? It came down at base, the pullback, and then bam, it went. Unfortunately, if you're looking on that one in a bigger time frame, it just slicing right through. It's not slowing down. It's going straight down and is looking for 88.50. 88.50 would be awesome. We were talking about 91 this morning. What, 90 days range, 91.88, so almost $92. If we can get all the way down there, that's awesome. It's awesome, right? I'm gonna go up to Sam's Club. Like, hey, yesterday it was 9.35. Today oil is down $4. You need to drop that thing, right? Drop it. I know that's not how they work, but it would be awesome. Take me back into like 325, right? 315. I would love that. Oh my God, 299. Man, I'm gonna fill up every gas tank I have, right? I may even put one of those on the back of my truck just to not that I like that when feel like carrying a fuel tank on the back of your truck is like asking for like an artificial Pinto all over again. But yeah, give it to me, right? So overall, I think this one comes down. Again, everybody knows oil is extremely high. Supposedly, it was not sustainable. A lot of this is going to come back down to what's going on. I think right now China is the main, is the biggie, right? China is the linchpin for oil. Again, the more negative data that again they're still struggling. Again, I think that hurts oil. I think the second that China, again, I really, really hope when we start getting news that, hey, listen, China, it looks like they're starting to turn around. Things are looking better there. Demand will increase. I hope we're back at like 80 and not holding at 88, 89, because I think that spikes. And remember, the production cuts are staying until December. So if we could in early November hear that China is recovering, it'll be a big bull market. So again, hopefully all these guys are like $100 oil's coming. Hopefully they are wrong. Hopefully we stay lower and hopefully this continues to push down. So, right now, fib wise, again, we are past. We can run in the other direction if you guys want real fast. But there's your high. There's your low right now. Nothing. And there's a little bit of a hiccup right here at the 61.8. But if we push all the way down, I think this is probably more than likely the 88.50 area. Again, that puts us here and another little level right past the 61. I think that probably makes the most sense. And again, that makes sense because we have the buyers down here. So that's kind of what I like right now as far as where we're looking for this to turn. But we need a little bit of help. So overall, I think we're probably at a reversal level. Here we go. We talked about natural gas, and you can see natural gas was out 9 o'clock on Friday. We ended up coming up Friday again at 2 o'clock, and then we almost gapped into it again. It actually gapped here and then started the fall. We talked about breaking through last week, and we set an alert. We said, hey, listen, coming through 284, that could lead us all the way back down to 268. I'm still on board. I like that. We're hitting this level again. We got 1, 2, 3. This is hit number 4. We need the base. We can get the base. It's like, there it is. Give it to me, right? What is that? You guys ever watched YouTube Shorts? You guys know who like Stale Cracker is? He's a guy from like Louisiana. Says all kinds of funny stuff. It's fire, right? There's another guy. I don't know what he does. He's like, but he's like, woo, I forget what he says, but it's hysterical, and you hear it. It just stays in my head all day. It's the same thing. Look at this. Look at this big run, right? We are looking for a drop straight back down again. And again, I love that. Natural gas is way too high right now. Again, this contract switch always does this, but woo-wee, or whatever the heck he says, all the way down, all the way down. Gold is just grinding. We were looking for a bounce here. We actually did call for a short below, if we got below 1953 short, and then look to see, kind of a target slash potential reversal level over here. This one reversed very, very quickly. So we can drag this down even further. You can see that old level, and it did. It kind of hiccuped. It didn't give us the best. And again, this was Friday at 12 o'clock. Not really the best time you can see. When we closed, when the Friday gold market closed, it really kind of just flatlined and then started to deteriorate on Sunday. And nobody was fooled. Now, this one is not moving as much as the dollar. It's just kind of been a grind, right? We did get a green, but again, we talk about when the trend is ending, right? There is a green here, and let me make this big for you guys. It's a great example, right? Again, red, green, red, red, green, red, red, green, and we kind of got stuck here, and we kind of paused. And again, this was Friday, nothing there. And then the next time we again, red, green kind of came high, didn't quite go above. Boom, there the trend's back on again. Red, green, red, red, green. Boom, no trend. Red, green, red, and then this finally kind of pulled back. And again, this is midnight on a Monday, so whether you use it or not. But here you go. European market opened here. Red, green, red closed below, down. Red, green, red. And you saw this green. You're like, oh, green. Red went below. Nope, it's still a red, green, red. Red went above. You're like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. And again, that may have been a place to take yourself out, but now we are forming a new red, green, red. But at this point, I think that the reversal is probably pretty close. 1830s a really, really big drop. Again, being down huge like this, kind of need a headline, kind of need something. But I mean, this has been a big grind. I mean, from the top of this, I mean, we were talking, Wednesday, what, 2 Wednesdays ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about being $110 more. So this is a big drop in a very short period of time. I think we're probably due, but right now, no reason to get in the way. Silver also taken off, man. Now silver, we talked about a level, and it came down and started base here Friday, and it was just like bam. It did slow down and have some issues with 23, which you would expect, and then we actually had a dot. We had some dotted lines here. Let's go back and see where this dotted line came in. Here we go. Oh, okay, so we actually did have a short in here talking about if we could break through 2133 with a decent base. We were looking for 21 flat. So we actually have something, and we're actually playing with it right now. So actually, let's go back and draw this. We will use this so it goes all the way through. So that's what we're kind of looking for right now. Looking for a decent base in there. Let's see. Let's pull this off. And same thing. Look at this. 2350 all the way down, and it's a big move. It's a big move. It's got its big boy pants on. Draw that around the 23. Man, now I'm kind of hoping that don't break base here, pull up, grab these guys at the 23, and then just slice through like butter. Go, go, go. I could be in for that, but it's starting to, again, that 8 o'clock chop is driving me nuts this morning. So, yeah, I'm looking for 21. Again, we have a Harry Potter here. We talked about it. List one dropping about 35 cents all the way down to 21. That's a target right now. That's a target, but, I mean, ideally, please come back up and grab this level. If it comes back up, that's a great trade. Boom, grab it, and down. But I feel like it's, again, I think the dollar's going to run out of strength. Everything is so far extended at this point. It should be moving a little bit different direction. All right. What do we got with Apple? Good old Apple. Apple's running the sellers. Yeah, we'll see if Apple can clear. It's been here before. 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be able to run back up to 175. It just needs a little bit of help. Tesla, again, close. Big drop down. And again, it is rallying as well. Again, it ran into that level here up at 253. So probably the same thing. VIX pushing down a little bit. Dollar, man, it's chopping. It's trying. People are like, oh, but what about the 49? It's trying. Again, quite overextended from the European Open. So let's see what we got here at the Open, if there was anything. Again, Monday morning opening prints are always a little bit weird. There's your 9:15. There's your 9. Nothing confirmed in the overnight because the 9 o'clock went even lower. So, not really. And there was a pullback level, but not really the best of pullbacks. Again, not enough range, right? So again, this is Monday morning. The movement was not in. NQ, do we get anything? 9 o'clock. We had talked about buyers here. Again, not really opening print, right? Not really opening print. The opening print was over here, but again, just finding the last levels, like again, finding your highs and lows, right? There would have been your kind of there. There's your bracket up in top and bottom, right? Last area of confirmed selling up here, and again, this is the last bottom we can see on the chart as far as where basing occurred, right? Stop, turned, and kind of got front run here. Um, Again, this is the 15,000, but kind of sitting in the middle. So as far as the opening print goes, you're sitting right here. Sorry, right here. Not really, ideally not what you're looking for. Right, not what you're looking for. So, YM. 930 was here. YM kind of pulled back to a zone. Let's see, where were we at? People may have tried to get into that one. Zone's okay. Again, not an opening print, not a confirmed. There was a level here. It was 930 is what confirmed it. It went up and grabbed it, but not really. Again, not really what we're looking for in the overnight. The overnight was really just straight down. By the way, the top of this is the European market open. So again, that's a big push from the European market. Again, the Europeans, man, they were pissed this weekend. They came to play this morning. I don't know what happened in the EU, but man, they came to play this morning. Look at this, straight down. Woo! And Russell, same thing. Peak, yep, right there. There was your gap. Kind of just chopped back and forth, and all of a sudden, European stepped in and just look at the Harry Potter though. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Right? Boom, base, up, and punch down. And imagine, and you say, well, there's not a zone there. No, there kind of is. Right? There's where the market ended. There's your zone. We smashed through, down, up, grabbed it. It's also the 1800 and the downside. So the red candle was your 930. So was an opening print trade. No. Could you have tried to take a short up here? Yeah. If you try to say, okay, I'm gonna Harry Potter the sucker. There's our base. I know it's over there as well. It's confirmed, right? Previous level, based in the level, 1800. Oh, so close, so close. And then boom, grabbed it and went. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For an opening print, kind of the best Harry Potter trade setup you could get. It literally just boxed in there. So not bad. Overall for a Monday though, not a horrible Monday. Again, movement pretty decent. US dollar, construction spending rose. Again, we're not hurting if construction spending came in higher than expected. If they're spending more, that's not bad. So again, biggest one I think we got to look for is this JOLTS data tomorrow morning. Again, JOLTS was something that nobody cared about forever, and then all of a sudden, COVID happened. JOLTS became huge. The labor market got insane, and yeah, now people are like, oh, what's that JOLTS data? What's the employment data look like? Again, it's like the Fed's preferred gauge of you know employment inflation. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do our drawing. I will give you guys 30 seconds. We'll go right until the 8 here, and we will see how it goes. Ah, he loves this little chair. He's got this like little tiny chair. It's funny. 10 seconds more. He's been so behaved today. That's what happened when I gave him a lollipop for breakfast. Yeah, I said it. I said it. I gave him a lollipop and some peanut butter bread. All right, there we go. Oh, I missed it by one. All right, winner today's drawing is. Oh, man. I'm not even going to say it. That's 2 times in a row that I think Marina has stopped him. I knew. Yes, Ernest. I think that's twice. She's done it to you twice now, right? Right? Twice. I think she's done it twice. Right? Technically, 1, 2, 3, 4 Neuro stacked it up, so you only had a 50% chance of winning. But wow. Right? I think she's done it twice. Lady Luck has returned. I'm telling you, this is what I'm telling you. If you need anybody to go to Vegas with you, take her. I'm telling you, right? Odds stacked in her favor, right? She had a 5% chance of winning, 95% chance of winning, and she's done it twice now. 2 times in a row, and Ernest has gotten a 3. Bam. Nails him. All right. Let's give her chips. I'm telling you, take this lady to Vegas. There we go. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Again, if you need still trades tonight, this cash rate tonight should be probably a pretty decent trade. It is super late. It is 11:30 p.m., so I know some of you are already asleep. You West Coasters over there, again, it's pretty easy. It's 8:30. I know it's right after dinner for you guys. Before you go out, um, trade well. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for joining me today. I'll catch you again. Take care.